University of Florida faculty has no confidence vote against anti-LGBTQ+ Senator Ben Sasse. The University of Florida Faculty Senate approved a no-confidence resolution Thursday on the selection process to appoint US Senator Ben Sasse as the next president. The 67-15 vote comes after Sasse, a Republican senator from Nebraska, became the only person considered for the high-ranking position at one of Florida's largest universities. His candidacy sparked controversy on campus partially due to his 2015 comments on LGBTQ rights after the Supreme Court ruled to guarantee same-sex marriage at the federal level. The Independent Florida Alligator reported that when pressed about the comments during an on-campus forum earlier this month, Sasse said the decision was, quote, the law of the land, end quote, adding that, quote, it wasn't going to change in the near future, end quote. When asked about promoting diversity at the university, Sasse said, and I quote, I want us to figure it out by listening to our community and our conversation. Who is not feeling included, and how do we tackle those problems and reduce those barriers, end quote. Following the High Court's landmark decision on same-sex marriage, Sasse took the stance that only a man and a woman should get married and create a family. The emergency meeting on Thursday included an extensive discussion on the selection process for president, including requests for more clarity on the process. Ultimately, the Faculty Senate voted to approve the no-confidence resolution. That quote right there, about the diversity quote, that is 20 words of emptiness. There's nothing, there's no substance in that sentence.
Well, you know when he's lying, his lips are moving.
And in addition to that, a diversity exploration is not left to the community, because the absolute fact of diversity, of minority protection, is to protect the minority from the majority, which is why you don't poll public opinion of the broad community, because they would generally say, no, we're going to oppress the minority. That's why you don't go to the community. He rings a dog whistle of saying, let's be democratic, but really, we're not talking about being democratic.
That has been the calling card for conservative legal movements for a while now. I mean, the Supreme Court's conservative justice keeps saying that LGBTQ rights should not be judged at the courts, but at the ballot box. You know, you should follow the political process, except that, you know, it is the tyranny of the majority. The minority will never get...
Tyranny of the majority.
Yeah. You know, now let's be clear. Politicians being appointed to university presidents are not new. Donna Shalala was a former secretary under President Clinton. She was appointed University of Miami. Granted, that's not a state university, and I get that. But this is a Governor DeSantis essentially appointment. And what's most disturbing is the legislature has made it so you cannot access public records to look at how this decision was made. We cannot do a Freedom of Information request, or FOIA. You might hear it mentioned in news sometimes. We can't get those documents. So we have no idea how he was appointed this, other than the fact that he probably sat down, had martinis with DeSantis, and was like, all right, you're the new president, and then I'll be president.
Well, again, you would hope that these issues are motivating young voters to the polls. Again, you can see what a governor can do. They can appoint a university president. And then we have in the Supreme Court that considering the challenge to for affirmative action happening right in front of our face, and the possibility that it is going to be struck down and found unconstitutional, and which will, impact, so many, people of diverse backgrounds of getting into the university. So here you're going to have a president of the university put in place by a extreme right-wing governor, and now you're going to have the Supreme Court striking down affirmative action. So did you have any more reasons to vote as a young person?
When we broke the news, and we first reported at Queer News Tonight, the issue of him being considered as University of Florida, I had a meltdown tirade at Queer News Tonight in commenting on this story. And a lot of people criticized me for it, and so I'll give it a second try now. The reason why this decision reflection is so incredibly dangerous as a summary of Governor Ron DeSantis is Senator Ben Sasse's selection. It is at the top of the mountain of how terrible Governor DeSantis is and how dangerous he's going to be to the United States of America. The senior senator from Nebraska has every right to be batshit crazy if he wants to be, and he is. He's batshit crazy, and his philosophical beliefs in so many areas. That's one thing. You get to be the senator of Nebraska and be batshit crazy. Okay, that's what America is, and it's allowed in Nebraska, and it's allowed everywhere. And while I don't like it, it's a democracy in action. That's not what we're watching here. We are watching a governor of a state that is selecting a crony in a philosophical belief to be the president of one of the top 10 universities in America. And the reason that is a horrendous decision is a president, which is why the Senate of university professors at university vote no confidence in the decision making to select him, is the president of a university, of especially one of the great universities in America, one of the greatest public universities in America. You would never allow batshit crazy from Nebraska to be the president, because the university in and of itself is designed to propel minority interest. We already know older universal white guys will be the future coming out of the University of Florida. The president of the university is designed to protect LGBT, religious minority, Asian minority, Latinos, women, etc., black in terms of people of color. When batshit crazy from Nebraska goes out on the limb of what he says about LGBT, he is reflecting his opinions on a wide variety of minority. So while it is not as public, he has similar beliefs in the closet about black, about women, about Latinos, about. That is not a position for a university president, especially one of the great universities in America. It is a reflection of terrible decision-making at the University of Florida, but even worse, it's proof positive of how dangerous Governor Ron DeSantis is for America. It's proof, even more than don't say gay. It's proof. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.